We've been talking about the Cardano momentum shift for a very long time on this YouTube channel. Now here we are, August 2022, and it continues to happen on the macro charts. But not only just on the ADA charts, but in the general landscape of crypto, the shift is happening, and Cardano is making a name for itself. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Thank you for coming by. Let's just jump into the Cardano video. It is a momentum shift that not only have we been tracking from bull market high all the way back here to the bear market formation that we're in right now, but it's a shift that we've just been tracking and watching and gathering all of the data on these charts. I mean, it wasn't very long ago. Cardano was in this last bull market high in 2018. Well, two bull markets ago, I should say now. And this was like the beginning of Cardano, right? Falling into the bear market. And we look back on this time and we really realize, look where Cardano went to like 2 to 3 cents here in the bear market low of 2018. And it recovered. It somehow just came out of nowhere and eventually on these charts went to $3 plus. That happened. And this was before Cardano had staking mechanism. It's before the multi-asset ledger. It's before smart contracts. Definitely before scalability and governance coming into play, which is kind of where we are now. And so here we are, ADA sitting at 51 cents. That momentum shift, that story continues. And we're going to continue tracking it. Now, what makes it really cool, this momentum shift, is, yeah, we see it on the charts. But what makes it cool is, from a fundamental perspective, everything Cardano is building and in the way it's building it to be reliable and secure and decentralized, the way that it's doing that, it's beginning to make a name for itself across the general landscape of crypto. And that applies to right now in this bear market. And it's a great time for that going into the next bull market, whenever that happens, because Cardano's making a name for itself amidst pretty chaotic news. And that's kind of what I first want to start with before we jump into these charts. You might have seen crypto firm Nomad loses nearly $200 million in bridge hack. And this is like in the last 24 hours, this headline. We have this headline, Solana, or thousands of Solana wallets drained in multi-million-dollar exploits, right? Solana, increasingly popular blockchain known for its speedy transaction, has become the target of Cryptosphere's latest hack after users reported that funds have been drained from the internet-connected hot wallets. This is like just most recently, but this bear market has been full of headlines, bankruptcies, right? Hacks, all of this. And Cardano is just kind of, it really is building quietly, silently, pivoting off of its research-back approach. And I want to say, I'm not saying Cardano is perfect at all. This is technology built by human beings who are very, very much imperfect, right? I'm not saying Cardano is perfect, but I like Cardano because it is secure. And it's secure and it's proving itself as reliable because of the approach that it took and the team that built it took to kind of take a more steady, slow, right, approach. And that's a really big thing as we sit in this bear market and we see headlines like this. And it's a really big thing as we start digging into these charts and we start trying to see, well, what kind of value does ADA have? And ADA's value is really based off of the stability and the reliability of the protocol itself. And this is how it's going to attract new users. This is going to be how it attracts institutional money. It's because Cardano is going to set itself apart from the rest. And this is something I've been speaking on and I've been talking about a lot as I've been covering these videos. Some people think I hop on here and I just discuss ADA charts. I don't think a lot of people really watch my actual content. I discuss the fundamentals. As a value investor, you have to at least have a simple surface level understanding of what you're investing in. And I like Cardano because it really is setting itself apart when it comes to these things like security and reliability. So, and here we are. So that's a momentum shift in the macro landscape, a fundamental shift It's a shift in the narrative that is surrounding Cardano. Cardano has gone from just getting tons and tons and tons of hate. It really has. And I really think we're going to see a shift and a bottoming out of that happening. And I think it's going to shift to positive. And we're going to start seeing positive headlines about what Cardano is accomplishing and who's moving to Cardano, who's building on Cardano, what institutional money is moving to Cardano. I think we're going to start seeing a shift. I'm not saying it's like going to happen tomorrow, but I think on the macro, we're going to see the shift, and it simply does coincide with the shift that's happening now. Here's the weekly chart, everybody. Let's dig into price a little bit. We went up quick in the bull market. Just a quick reminder, it's going to be painful on the way down. It doesn't have to be painful. We can find ways to enjoy it. We can find ways to turn it into a good situation. All we need is some patience, right? All we need is some foresight, and all we need is some just kind of wise planning kind of infused into all of it. And part of the wise planning comes from this, knowing that we do not know what's going to happen next. So we visualize scenarios. We get ready for the worst, we prepare for the best, and we're at any given time, we're ready for any scenario in our portfolios. We're not overextended. We're not risking more than we can afford to lose. And that's why I do these videos. It's not financial advice. This is data I track with you because I'm on the same journey as you are in this crazy crypto world. So here's ADA on the weekly. It is a momentum shift though. You can see the bottom formation kind of just happening, right? And we're still, I would say, fairly new to it. We're not like the bottom is in, we're going up into the new bull market. I don't think that's the environment we're in. And I think the stock market and everything going on over there, everything going on with inflation and interest rates, we need some time for these things to cool off. And who knows how elections coming up in November will play into this too. So we have a lot to track, but the momentum shift is happening on the charts. It really is. And you can even open up a momentum oscillator like the RSI and get a sense of that. Look at the RSI. Here's the previous cycle. 2018 bear market low. Well, here's this bear market low, right? The formation is in. What happens in the momentum shift on the macro is yet to be seen. We're going to track it, but we're going to start digging into the momentum shift itself. Notice real quick before I leave this weekly chart, the MACD line crossing above the red line signal line. Bitcoin getting ready for that move, which is very interesting. So Cardano's already made the move in July. Here we are in beginning of August. So the setup is there. The momentum, even on the RSI, the slower moving momentum oscillator, is there. Even on the stock RSI, it's not like Cardano is overbought, and this isn't the stock RSI. On this quicker moving momentum oscillator, it's not like it's overbought. There's momentum to the upside. So for even a short to midterm rally, the setup is there. But let's pivot to the daily chart because this is where things get really interesting. Now, I've been tracking the 20-day moving average crossing above the 50-day. I don't want to repeat myself too much. It's important because these moving averages have proven to be either the resistance for ADA, right? And just these lower high bounces to the downside, or just the failure of support. So it's just been either resistance or just not holding support at those areas. And because what we're looking for literally is just higher highs, higher lows of support above the moving averages, right? ADA price moving just in this nice momentum to the upside above those moving averages. We're waiting for that. That's a bullish environment. You can simply zoom out on a daily chart and you can get a sense real quick of what it looks like, a bullish environment, right? Look at that. Higher highs and higher lows above those moving averages. We're waiting for something like that, and it just hasn't happened. It's one bullish confirmation that we're waiting for. Now, what I want to do though is the last time ADA did have a 20-day moving average crossing above the 50-day was back here in March. There's the 20-day moving average crossing above the 50-day. I want to just take note real quick of the RSI. So this RSI in the middle of the screen was overbought actually even before ADA made the 20-day moving average cross above the 50-day moving average. ADA was overbought. Now, this time around, and this is where I think it's interesting, ADA has made the 20-day moving average cross above the 50, and it's right in the middle of the RSI momentum oscillator. This means that this indicator has happened, and there is a lot of room for momentum to the upside. The breakout for ADA is set up, And this is what it looks like. I'm a YouTuber. It's important to get clicks on the videos, right? I try to create content and thumbnails and headlines that really do apply to the video. But I use ADA breakout, right? ADA breakout getting ready to happen. ADA breakout is ready, stuff like that. It doesn't mean it's definitely going to happen. It's not a prediction, but what I just showed you on the charts, that is literally, it's just the setup for ADA. That's what it looks like. This is a setup for a breakout on any chart, right? This 20-day moving average crossing above. We've gotten this most recent bounce off this macro line. You go over to the weekly chart, this is what the macro line looks like. That macro white line that I'm talking about goes all the way back here to 2018 before capitulating into the 2018 bear market low. Here's that line. ADA just bounced off of that. CPI data coming, what is it? August 10th, right? That's 1 week from today. What if there's some positive news somehow in there, right? What if stock market rally continues? The crypto market rally continues. Well, the setup on the ADA chart is there for ADA to break out. We have this trend line, it's a newly charted trend line. It's a curved trend line. I really like it, kind of illustrating the midterm lower highs that ADA is in, and really the momentum shift that we're looking for as it meets this macro trend line. You can see ADA getting squeezed in between the two, and right in the middle of that is this 20-day moving average crossing above the 50-day. The indicators, the charts right now in ADA are extremely exciting from a technical analysis perspective. But let's dig in further and talk about target to the upside. So we have that blue line that we just talked about, right? This curved trend line, but we also have this straight upper trend line, lower high trend line, and ADA right now just dancing with it. I mean, if I zoom in on the 6-hour chart, you can just see ADA dancing with that trend line right now. There's obviously room for rejection to the downside, but we're waiting for this breakout of that straight upper trend line, upper trend line. And we're looking for it to also break this blue curved trend line. That's sitting right around 53 cents. So really, right now, 50 to 53 cents, big area on the short term for ADA. On the kind of this short to mid-term chart, though, a breakout target out of this entire structure that ADA has formed in between these lines, sitting at around 80 cents. It's important because it is just above this lower high yellow trend line, which is the entire bear market upper trend line. It's the lower high rejection ADA has seen. I mean, ADA can make a move to this trend line and still not give us macro bullish confirmation, right? It could give us just resistance, and we could be coming back down for the continuation of this bear market formation. That's pretty crazy to think about, right? 60% gains or almost 60% gains, and then ADA's coming back down. Welcome to crypto. And this is why we chart it. It's why we visualize it and speculate around it. But the target to the upside is there. So prepare for an environment like that. Don't be surprised if it's September or something and we're sitting up to like in the 70 cents, 80 cent area. Not saying that's going to happen. Not saying it's a prediction. It's a possibility. A possibility I haven't even talked about is ADA falling and breaking this macro trend line to the downside. So that's a possibility. I'll have to cover that in another video. But this is more of an upside video discussing what a momentum shift to the upside looks like. That's what the breakout target looks like. Interestingly enough, I'm zoomed all the way out here on the 6-hour. That blue target, you see this blue target up here around 80 cents. If you remember, this was a macro target to the downside. ADA broke down to and bounced off of. And so we're going to use this, and this is why I have it all charted still. It's old data, but it's still extremely relevant. And we're probably going to use that 80 cent trend line. We're going to use that 80 cent resistance area, which was a previous support area back here in March. We're going to use that going into probably the next bull market. And who knows how long that extends, but this is a really important area, the 80 cent area for ADA macro charts. But right now it's kind of a short to midterm target to the upside. If ADA bulls really just go crazy, markets go crazy, stock market rallies, cryptos are rallying going into this fall, that's that target to the upside for ADA. And ADA could very well surpass even that target and be testing $1 in a very bullish environment before potentially coming back down. So we're going to continue tracking it. We're just living through the bear market, everybody. And it's all we can do is really just prepare for every scenario. But I'm telling you, in my view, there's a huge momentum shift happening, and there's no better way there's no better time for ADA to prove itself, for Cardano blockchain to prove itself as reliable and secure than in a bear market formation. Because getting ready for that next bull market, and we have all of these upgrades happening with Cardano. Cardano is going to, I think, perform extremely well, if not outperform, just as it did in the last bull market. So these are my thoughts. You can agree, you can disagree. All is good. Pound either way. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you all in the next video. God bless.